You in?
That's yes.
As Solo nears its global premiere, the world ponders its fate: a Star Wars sequel or a prequel, the beloved Wookiee or the contentious Gungan. And Ron Howard seemed acutely aware of that immense pressure during a recent press conference with the whole cast.
Thought we were in trouble there for a second, but it's fine. We're fine.
Best Picture and Best Director Oscar winner Ron Howard said the level of anticipation was unlike anything I've done before. Bear in mind that Howard has been acting since he was a toddler and has directed 24 features, but this was the movie that had him telling himself, and I quote, "Ron, don't f this up." But Howard stepped up to the challenge for the opportunity to take chances and to experiment and explore what he could do with the material. And those who were lucky enough to see the May 10th early screening for critics, well, they felt that Howard didn't f it up.
So glad we took this job!
Alden Ehrenreich, who caught our attention in the Coen brothers' Hail Caesar, wanted the blessing from an OG before jumping into the Millennium Falcon's cockpit. So he and Harrison Ford had lunch 2 years ago, and Ehrenreich said Ford was, quote, very supportive. He disclosed that when they met again after Ford had seen the film, it's a huge deal to have him really genuinely love and enjoy it. It was awesome.
Great kid! Don't get cocky!
The Solo successor studied the original trilogy and tried to absorb as much as he could from Ford's performance. And praise was also heaped upon Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian for, quote, stealing the movie.
Everything you've heard about me is true.
Glover, who is riding high on the success of Emmy and Golden Globe winning series Atlanta and his This Is America single, had to put in work to get the role. His dad was a big fan of Lando, and Glover grew up loving the character, so he set his sights on landing their revival.
Hello, what have we here?
His agent admitted he didn't like the odds, but Glover claims it was exactly what I needed to hear. I auditioned like it was the only role I wanted in the world.
You done flirting?
Legendary screenwriter Lawrence Kasdan, whose first script credit is for a little picture called The Empire Strikes Back, has been in love with the Han Solo character since seeing him in the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yes, I bet you have.
Kasdan teamed with his son Jonathan to create what they called a crime western genre film in the tradition of Humphrey Bogart and Steve McQueen, but with a moral ambiguity that keeps the story contemporary and true.
What do you think? Well, what do you know?
IMDb will be covering Solo right up to when it hits theaters, so stay tuned for our interviews with the cast starting later this week.